mornings are sacred. They're most sacred time. I always think mornings are the place, especially in a city where the whole city is sleeping and it's like just you and the energy's fresh and it's full of possibilities. And the mornings for me are just the most magical time. So I don't ever put an alarm clock on because I hate waking up with artificial noise. And also I have like the ducks that like eat the moss. So as I'm like laying, sleeping, I can just hear the ducks chomping away. And then the sun shines through the windows. I don't close the blinds. The sun comes up at like 6 or 7 a.m. at the minute. So I'm up super early. So with the birds and the ducks and the light, it's like good morning life. So we're gonna flow like that. So after a roll around in bed for like 10 minutes, half an hour, you know, just stretching and waking up, I try not to have my phone in bed, always on airplane mode, because yeah, that just like fucks with your brain, just being on your phone straight away in the morning. So I try and keep it now in the other room. So after rolling around in bed, it's time to make the bed. Also, I only use cotton or linen sheets because when we sleep, it's like you're sweating and microplastics. I heard that linen has the highest frequency in kind of materials. So I have like buckwheat pillows. I thought buckwheat pillows was a really normal thing until my friend was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. So like you have got a zip and it's all buckwheat husks. Can you see this? It's like fascinating. I put lavender from the garden and chamomile and all these herbs so that I sleep better. And this is in like organic kind of cotton as well. So yeah, that's how I sleep. And then they mold to your head. So actually it's really good for your spine. And also when I'm breathing, I'm just breathing in natural materials because like, yeah, I don't want any microplastics and like all of the bits. No way. So some people that have stayed around mine for sleepovers have said that sometimes it can be a little bit noisy. However, I don't really notice that. And I actually hate sleeping on normal pillows. Like when people have 2 pillows and it's like that, just think what that's doing to your posture. No thanks. Okay, now I'm gonna make bed. My nan always tells me if you make your bed, it's like you're ready, you're saying you're like up for the day. So I'm up for it. The first thing I always do is open the doors. I mean, living my life. Like, I literally just lay in bed watching the trees. I don't have a TV because the trees are my TV and I can just sit for hours watching with them, like swaying and just watching the birds, and the heron sometimes comes and sits here and I'm just like living fucking the Cinderella life. Who knew? So once I lay in bed, rolling around, pondering all the things, watching the trees, I then make a cup of tea and decide like what herbs intuitively I feel like, because this is where my herb garden is as well. So I'm gonna grab some herbs and then I'm gonna make a cup of tea and then I'm getting back in bed. So I'm gonna pick some lemon balm, which is a natural mood booster. It's like amazing. And I'm gonna have some sage and a little bit of rosemary. That's what I feel like today, super earthy. And with these, just whack them all in like that. For me, like I try and have absolutely no noise. Some people put music in the morning, and if I'm feeling really tired and I've got a big day and I kind of really need that energy, then I will bust the tunes out. But as a whole, I'm like, just mornings are sacred, mornings in silence, because when I leave the boat or when I start work, then the noise comes and there's like emails and this and that, and actually just having that time where it's not like that is really important in order to know what I think and what I feel. And I know some people will be like, oh, you know, there's no kids. If you've got kids, it's a different thing. But even when I've stayed and looked after friends' kids, I always get up early and just make sure I have like an hour to myself in the morning, because otherwise I'm just a fucking not a great human to be around, to be honest. Back to bed. Yeah. And I always just like poetry in the morning because, I don't know, it's just quite nice to pick a poem. Like you just kind of roll through and then you pick a poem. And so this one's Living Authentically. It's not that it doesn't scare me sometimes to speak my truth. It's just that it scares me much more to live a lie. Just something short, sweet. For me, poetry was like when I was younger and I didn't have the words to emotionally understand what I felt. Poetry just gave me a voice, and when the adults around me didn't know, poetry did, and it just gave comfort. And I guess that's something I take with me, of just like, poetry helps you understand the ways you feel without even understanding. It gives you the words. And also with poetry, because I write quite a lot now for a living, more, I stopped reading books. I went through stages of reading all the books all the time, and then I just realised that I just need less noise in my life. Like with podcasts, with TV, with all of it, I just eradicated all of it because I wanted to know what was my truth and what I thought. And to be honest, the only thing I'm really interested in is nature and like using that as a guide. So doing a couple of pages of poetry is kind of the only thing that I read or absorb that's a choice, you know, in that sense. Oh, look, the coot. So cute. This is also my TV. It's a bit hazy today, but the sun comes up from here, so I usually have it pouring into my bedroom, which is nice. So I'll just lay here and just kind of really be with the sunrise, because back in the day, you know, like before the Bible came and absolutely, you know, changed the world, people all over the world, but especially here, would celebrate the sun. Like that would be the god, because actually if you think about it, with the sun there's no life, there's no plants, there's no nothing, and it's this ball of fire in the sky that rises every day that gives us hope and gives us possibilities. And for me, that is a god on some level. Like the water is a goddess, and like using nature as, I guess, yeah, as like god and goddesses, and knowing that without it I can't live and I can't sustain. So I really take a moment for the sun and life and that fire, you know. Deep breaths are always a good idea. Sometimes I'll notice my breathing when I'm working and I'm like, am I even breathing? Like, and actually in the mornings I just really try and take many moments to be like deep breaths and just like giving back what feels tight, what's in my shoulders, back to the water, and just like taking the load off, like taking all this shit that I've taken on that actually maybe isn't mine, or all the to-dos, and just be like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just me and the land and the sun and the coots and the ducks, and that's it. And that's where I start my day from. When I was living in the jungle, some of you may have seen that video, the reason I came back to London was to be here, but to find balance in the city. And I really just kind of questioned, what is it that I love about travelling? What is it that I love about living abroad? And it's my mornings of waking up, going for walks, meditating, having that space. So I make it a priority to create that, so I don't feel like I need to go on holiday. That every day is kind of a bit of a holiday on some level. And spontaneity. I always have to have spontaneity in the day, but that's a whole other topic. Now I'm going to get changed. All of my clothes are under the bed. A bit of like, I don't really curate that much. It's more like what's been washed and at the top. So these, I reckon that will work. It's quite colourful. I never wear pink, but I'm going for pink these days. Maybe I'm in my feminine girl era. I really rebelled against it, to be honest. But hey, we can all change. When you got curly hair, it's literally wake and shake. Sometimes you're like, Jesus, I look like a fucking scarecrow. But it's fine. That's why I wear so many hats. It's like, oh, now I look like I got my shit together. What do you think? I'm not really a mirror-looking person. Like, I'll look in the beginning of the day, make sure I've got no shit in my eyes. And then I don't really use face wash or anything like that. I just put a little bit of oil on once I've jumped out of the shower. And that's kind of it. I'm really low maintenance. I always see these people with like their epic skin routines, and I'm like, Oh, I'd like to be like that, but I just can't be arsed. So there we go, bit of a rub, bit of no eye bogies or whatever they are, and off we go. I'm a bit of, considering I live such in a small space, I love a fancy dressing gown. I'm going to say it and some of you are going to hate it, but I fucking hate them fluffy dressing gowns. Like, I hate them. Like, back in the day where I was growing up, people would just like be out in the streets having their tea in them, and I'm just like, I'm going fancy. Like, I want to be fancy. So I am. So I have like a nice quilted dressing gown. I have like other dressing gowns. I have so many dressing gowns, basically. Gonna give you a tour of my outfit. Hat, £2 from a flea market. Trousers, second hand, £3. Top, brought in India about 6 years ago. Can't believe it's actually still together. For a while, I've been trying to use natural materials more because of the microplastics. Like, oh my God, when you go to yoga and you see everyone in their tight little things, I'm just like, can your vagina breathe? Like, my nan would always say your vagina needs to breathe. And also you're like sweating, the microplastics are going all in the bits that really you do not want to be sucking up microplastics. But also I'm just trying to support, I just want on my body natural. So these are cotton, this is cord. I try and buy my clothes secondhand, or if I am going to buy garms, it's going to be expensive, good quality. Now I'm really trying to use my money, like supporting businesses that are doing better for the environment and stuff like that, and celebrating like ancient textiles. And I love like vintage stuff, so I'm always at my nan's like robbing hats or down flea markets and vintage markets. But I think like having natural materials on your skin is so important, and I just like to feel cozy at all times. It's like a key. I want to feel like I'm in my pajamas actually, which kind of could be my pajamas. So yeah, this is my outfit for the day. Colourful. So now, after I've done all my bits and my like sacred mornings, I am now going to go for a walk, just 10 minutes. And I always try and go barefoot just because it's just a nice thing to do, and just like a little 10 minutes just to be in nature. Okay, let's go. Oh, so nice. So yeah. Just me and nature. It's just so nice, isn't it? Like when you're traveling or you go on a holiday, you wake up and you like really make time to spend time in nature. But I just feel like when we're in the everyday, we just don't prioritise that. So that's what I do, try and prioritise. Obviously not every day, because some days I just cannot be asked, but most days. The thing about coming in nature every day, especially to the same part, is that you're really able to notice what's changed, what plants are new, what's grown, what can be foraged. It's like, it's amazing. It's like, it's changing every day, and it's so subtle that you don't notice. So like when you're with it every day, you're able to just, yeah, pay attention a little bit more. So this is the first time I've seen blackberries, which is quite early. I guess this is because of climate change, not great. But we're heading now into berry season. So it's like elderberries, blackberries, hawthorn, rosehip, which is all medicine for the heart, which I think after kind of a busy summer, and like, you know, like we'll transition into autumn, it's like our hearts do need a little bit of care, because it's like sometimes where grief comes up and we're letting go, and I don't know about you, but it's been quite full power for me this summer. So it's just like honouring that, and I guess just seeing berries is that's what it reminds me, to be honest, to like look after the heart and to like have fun and pick berries and make things. Oh, so now the to-dos are starting to come, and I'm just going to get all of my shit out onto paper, and that's me. The day begins, phone gets turned on, emails answered, all after the like do washing and you know, all of that kind of stuff. Also, this is where I get the best ideas for my socials or for my recipes. It's like the mornings is like where there's like so much space that it can come in. So I do my best writing in the morning while I'm pondering all the things, you know. I don't eat breakfast straight away. I'll have breakfast kind of after writing this something savoury at the minute. I'm doing like a savoury thing. But like, I do really believe that if you kind of change your mornings, it will really change your life. Like, I can never understand people that have an alarm clock going off non-stop and then crawl out of bed and then jump out the door. Like, that just makes my nervous system feel uncomfortable, because I'm like, how we start our day is like a drop in the ocean of how the day continues. So yeah, try something new. Wake up half an hour early, even if it's like reading a poem or, you know, putting your phone on airplane mode. I do really believe it will make a difference. Like, I think a good foundation for the day is, yeah, it just makes you happier, let's face it.